I'm in my zone, I feel like I'm alone. I feel like I'm unknown to the world that's full of clones. My originality's focused on principalities broken. I'm loaning my heart and soul to the game that's scared to pay it back. And failure is a motherfucker. The strength to go on and believing in another sucker who don't see the vision in you. So you gotta work harder times two. Gotta make it do what it do with the limited sources you have. Your dream is still a find motivation in you and inspire the world to do what you can. If you love it, then fuck it, get through it. Yeah. Mumble mentality activated. I waited for so long. Get burdens I've outweighed. When you see me in my zone.
Man, all right. It is another Gentleman's Talk Wednesday. It's been a rough go around. You know, we all kind of down here in Texas. We've been suffering a little bit. There's been some weird crud going around, just fucking people up, taking people out the game. So it's just, you know, we surviving. I'm thankful. I'm a knock on wood real quick. You know what I'm saying? My children are okay right now. I'm breathing. Outlaw, you know, he kind of got punched in the face a little bit, but he gonna be out.
I was fine until she went back to school.
Ain't that how it always goes though? Like is when kids go to school, man, kids bring home all the outlandish fucked up shit, and that's how you know other people don't be taking care of their kids, don't be bathing their kids. Something wrong. Because why your kid coming to school / daycare / preschool / whatever, Head Start, whatever the hell you send your kids, and be coming up with this bullshit, passing it to all the other kids, you know, just scratching on their booties and touching everything and just getting everybody sick, man. It's not cool, man. It's like biological warfare for children. Like, it's just horrible.
I was gonna ask who hurt you, but probably some preschool kid that you don't even know.
Oh, ain't nobody hurt me at the moment. I'm surviving. I mean, yes, as you can see, my headline and my sub headline, it does say the guy who lost big. At some point throughout this show, I will tell you how I lost big, but right now that's not important, as it's not as important as the conversation we are going to have today. But I do feel Outlaw's subtitle as well, being just a tired dad. I felt that in my soul. So how has your week gone, my brother? Outside of being sick,
man. Baby girl started school. What was that? Yesterday. You know, it's crazy, man. We talked about this a couple episodes ago, but like, you know, thinking about how we were in school and now we're sending kids off to school, it's just the weirdest like thing ever. Like, I don't know. You know how I feel. It's just weird, you know, being on the other side.
Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah, no, it is. It's because, you know, there was a point in time where, you know, it was us, you know, going to the bus stop and waiting for the bus and, you know, doing all the shit. And now, full circle. Now we're either taking kids to school or putting kids on the bus to school or waiting on kids to come home from school on the bus. Like, now it's we're our parents now.
It came full circle, like you said.
But
girls,
all right, mine is currently in this. Yours is on the way down. Mine is currently laying down doing that thing we call tablet time in the 2024 parental era of parenting. Because sometimes you got to do different things to wind down. You know, normally, you know, you and I, we just have a glass of whiskey and we down, we good. But you know, we can't give children alcohol. It's bad for your health. So we're not gonna do that to them.
I mean, it's not that we can't, we just shouldn't.
Yeah, that's the way to. Yeah, we should.
Because you can't tell me that when we was kids, they didn't put some rum on your gums and help you fall asleep at night.
Listen, I cannot confirm or deny that as a small child, my gums was numb behind some Captain Morgan, but subjective. But it is what it is. So, yeah, if you know, you know. If you were raised a certain way, you completely understand. But today's episode is different, unique, special. We've kind of done this before. On a much bigger, more, you know, turned it into a Gentleman's Talk roundtable special. But today we kind of started to integrate this into just kind of one of our normal, you know, almost quarterly episodes at this point, because it's something that no matter how far along we seem to go, like, it feels as if there's still some weird like stigma, you know, sticking around about this. And we're going back to the conversation of men's mental health. we didn't know when we were going to come back to this conversation, but Outlaw jumped in the chat and was like, "Hey, this is the week we should do it." And it's like, that makes sense because we obviously did it a couple months back, and now that we are, pardon me, it's been a long fucking day. But the last time we did our men's mental health episode, it was overshadowed, because such a busy month at that point in time. So now that we're here, right around the time of Labor Day weekend, getting ready for college football to kick off, it's like, oh, better time than ever to just drop that on in there while, people are kind of focused on this, the pending elections and all this other stuff. So when we talk about the basics of health, we know really and truly the pandemic kind of put it all on the forefront. That's when, a lot more isolation was a lot, really just a lot of time. Sometimes in the world of a man, really good or really detrimental, depending on the situation at hand. Some people needed that time so they could reevaluate, get themselves out of the abyss, to use a Batman term, or to get out of a shitty relationship. They just needed that time to be away so they could think, so they could finally spread their wings and fly away. Pardon me for using the R. Kelly reference. We'll bring that back full circle later on tonight. But just kind of touching back into this, though, Outlaw, what are your initial thoughts on us kind of bringing this back like this?
Man, like you said, it's important. We do this like every quarter, I want to say, but I feel like your mental health never takes a break. Just because you don't talk about it doesn't mean that things aren't going on with you, emotionally or mentally. And we got to break that stigma down, man, because there be cats out here suffering and, they smiling one day and the next day, they took themselves off the census and you never know what was going on with them until afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got to get to that point where it's a normal conversation. Like, you shouldn't feel like bringing it up is going to cause you to get made fun of, laughed at, called a bitch, whatever words you want to use. Should feel like,
call me crazy, but every time you talk to somebody, you be like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And like, they never go into detail about what's really going on. Why can't we just go ahead and break it down and talk about that?
It's like, I'm all right, I'm fine, I'm cool. The usual. The usual, as I think we'll call them, deflective terms.
Even though you're not fine at all.
Yeah, but you still have a very high percentage of men who are just like, I just can't. Like, they just can't bring themselves to have that conversation, to even talk about something that might be considered baseline. Something simple. You could just be, "Hey, man, I've been struggling with XYZ at work." Something like, even a conversation like that for some is difficult. So it's like, in what world does it become just like, I'm gonna call Outlaw and be like, "Hey, bro, it's been a day." And when is it going to become a norm? So obviously Outlaw and myself can have these conversations. We do this. I mean, if y'all haven't been keeping up with, with us for however long, we are also actually brothers. We do confide in each other quite a bit. We bounce things off of each other. We have had some very in-depth and deep conversations about all kinds of mental health struggles, to say the least. So, we have found that level of comfort, if you will, in being able to talk with each other. I know myself and DJ Micah B have had some of these conversations, like it's, and it's in our little brotherhood has been the same thing. Like, for the most part, a few of us started going down that path of opening up and saying things, and now more and more of the brothers have kind of bought in, if you will, to use an athletic term, so now it becomes normal in certain circles. But if you don't have that said circle, who is it that you're confiding in? Are you seeking therapy? Who are you talking to? Are you just compartmentalizing? Are you putting it all subconsciously in the back? Because at some point it only takes one incident for it to just blow up and come full circle, and then all of a sudden you're that asshole who somebody says something, you just blew up on the whole party, and nobody knew that you were really hurting this whole time.
I mean, you kind of really touched on something important, man, because I feel like a lot of cats really do just bottle everything everything up, you know, and they'll resort to poor coping mechanisms. Like some of them might, you know, get drunk every day or get high every day or what have you, and you know they're just basically just pushing their emotions to the, you know, to the background. But the emotions are gonna keep, they're just gonna keep bottling up no matter how much you put back there.
This is, oh, I got to put this up on the screen.
And I don't know.
So appreciate you chiming in there too, David. He said, I feel like we as men have started speaking up about our mental health, especially with each other, you know, because we understand it. We struggle to have women accept us when we finally break down that wall and open up. You know, obviously, yeah, we know not all women, but some will. Yeah, and we've touched on that. I think two for sure is at least two mental health episodes ago. We talked about that last part. You know, like when he's saying throw it back, and we've seen where some will take that and we coined the term weaponize it. You know, and it's like instead of accepting that level of vulnerability, you take it, you basically load, you know, you load the chamber and you just spray the whole clip out. And all of a sudden, what's going to happen is exactly what David said at the beginning here is now them walls going back up and them walls are now fortified. And now I'm absolutely not going to remotely let anything in because I gave you a shot. I tried this whole let me be vulnerable thing and it blew up in my face like on some Looney Tunes type shit when, you know, Wile E. Coyote would try to blow something up and it wouldn't blow the Roadrunner up and it just blew up in his face.
Yeah, that's something we touched on in our last relationship episode. I think I said something along the lines of, you know, what women could do better is make it safer for men to have these feelings and emotions, you know, like it can't always just be about the women having bad days and going through things. Shit, we got stuff going on too.
Yeah, but it all boils down to really one simple question. Like, what is the balance? Like, what is the balance between how vulnerable you should be versus, you know, how you should, you know, what should you for the most part kind of keep close to the vest? What should you be more, you know, open, vulnerable about? Like what there's, you know, what is the true balance in that scenario? Given that, you know, we're right now we're kind of talking about like, you know, men who are in like relationships and stuff. Obviously, if you're a single man, hopefully you have, you know, a circle of people you can talk to or person that you can confide in, whatever the case might be, you know. So and yeah, Moolage is right there. You can't say you want a man to be more open and more emotionally in tune, but then not give him a safe space. So, I mean, couldn't have said that
He's
better.
right. I mean, I feel like honestly that balance depends on each couple. I feel like there's no one size fits all answer. It just depends on how emotionally intelligent you and your partner both are.
Yeah. It's funny how it almost sounds like parenting.
Man, yeah.
But I mean it's true though. Like they're really it does boil down to the relationship, to your partner. Like, you know, what is there a such thing as, you know, call it oversharing? You know, can that be a thing? Like, you know, what, you know, and it does kind of, even if you have an outstanding partnership, relationship, whichever word you want to use, you know, there's still, I feel like, is a level of, all right, I can say X, Y, and Z, but you know, let me not dump truck, to say the least.
Yeah, I feel like even in the most healthiest relationship, I feel like there's always going to be something that you don't tell your partner. Like, not in a malicious, hiding things, lying type of way, but it's just,
Yeah.
I feel like your partner is not going to know every little aspect of what's going on with you. And that's just, in my mind, I feel like that's okay.
Yeah. And I mean, we as men, we deal with various internal battles like every day. Like whatever day ends in Y, there's something going on. Like that's just the way it, you know, kind of breaks down for us, unfortunately. But and it's just, and it also depends. Like if you're just a single man, there are single man internal struggles that you deal with. If you're a family man, there are family man struggles that you deal with. If you're just married, there's just married men internal struggles. Like you know, and it could be a wide variety of things. Like it could just be, you know, something like, you know, the house, you know, your house just got hit by a storm and you're over here trying to figure out how am I going to fix X, Y, and Z. Like that's an internal battle because you can't, on the exterior, you can't show that emotion of everything's fucking falling apart around me. You have to maintain that tough exterior, and internally you're like, you're probably like screaming. You're like, fuck, here we go again. Like I gotta take care of X, Y, and Z. But then like, if you're, a family and a family man and you're dealing with things, it's like, you're like, especially if it's something, financial or something of that sort, you're like, damn, how am I gonna go make this bread? Damn, how am I gonna take care of this? Oh, baby girl, or little man need braces or something like that. And you're like, you're battling, trying to figure out what's the next move for me to get there. But you may not vocalize it. You're just internalizing it because it's something that we do. We go, as men, we do this thing, and it's just a trait that we have. And we go from normal to survival mode. And it's just kind of a thing. Like, and it, depending on who you talk to, it can be viewed as a negative thing. And it shouldn't be, because we're talking about two different types of people. There are those who utilize emotion to make decisions, and then there are those who use rationale. So it's like, so there's a certain way you have to kind of go about it, and you have to make the best decision given the circumstances. And sometimes you don't have that time to just sit down, write it down, and think about it. But we go into survival mode, and we're like, all right, what's the simplest decision I can make in the shortest amount of time? And we go with it.
Brother Moo makes a good point. Sometimes it's not about us opening up because we want the solutions to our problems. Sometimes we just want to just be heard. Sometimes our problems aren't really even about, our significant other. It's just y'all are here, and I feel like there's a certain expectation that your partner, should be there to hear you out through your problems. They can't fix everything, but damn, they should at least provide, a shoulder to cry on, for lack of better words.
Yeah. That's actually that's a hell of a perspective and a point that, to put out there, is because at the end of the day, we have to think of it that way. Like, and the point that Moolage had brought up that we just put up on the screen too is, when a man vents, like we're venting not to be critiqued or criticized or bashed or belittled or insert whatever negative connotation type word you want to use. Like we sometimes you just want to be heard. It goes back to that old gentleman's thing that we used to talk about, just women just wanting a shoulder to cry on. It's the same concept. Sometimes you just want to be heard. You don't want to say nothing. Sometimes you just, you need to you just need to vent. You just need to get it out. You need to just damn near scream with all your words, or word vomit, as we used to say when we were younger, type of shit. Like sometimes you just want somebody to just be there and listen and watch you be vulnerable in that moment. And when you're done with all that, you just kind of got to be, vulnerable and listen.
Yeah. And honestly, my brother will, he'll co-sign this, but man, if you ain't got somebody to talk to, I would always recommend therapy. There ain't nothing wrong with getting professional help. Your therapist, they're not going to give you necessarily all the answers that you need, but more so they kind of guide you along the way to find your own answers. They don't really tell you what you need to do with your life. They just tell you a very general and vague way of how to look at things differently and find the answer from there. At least it's been my experience with therapy.
Yeah, no, that's been my experience as well. Even now, currently, as somebody who's been in therapy for a little bit now, that's the way that my therapist goes about it. She's not there to give me the answers. It's more like, here's a couple options, kind of navigate accordingly, and you'll find the answer. Hopefully you'll find the answer that you're looking for, or it's just an alternate way of thinking to help you open up your mind and be more objective. So it's like a couple different tools to add to the toolbox, so that you're not just, using the same old methods to come to whatever conclusion you're going to come to. It's like, maybe I need to take that step back, and I need to go about this just a little bit differently. So having that compass to be like, all right, I went north, clearly that was wrong. Let me go fucking east and see if me going east will get me to, wherever the hell, point C is, type of situation.
Yeah, and honestly, man, a lot of our issues are just a matter of perspective. If you look at something differently, you'll realize it's nowhere near as bad as you thought it was. But sometimes you just need somebody else's point of view to help you see that.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like all you need. So from your perspective and in your experience of dealing with different, mental health things from a male perspective, what have been for you some of your more positive coping mechanisms, if any?
Honestly, man, going to the gym has helped me out a lot. There's a meme that says, lift heavy rock until the sad voices go away. And sometimes it do be like that. Like, you can't be depressed if your fucking body is killing you because you don't did a total body workout today. But you can't do
That's
that
true.
every day.
Yeah, you think that. But
I mean,
no,
you
I get
can.
you now. But like, no, my main coping mechanism is 100% being in the gym. The gym is my place. It is my sanctuary. It is my cave. It is my everything. Like it is how I avoid, because I keep going back to this because it was one of the most iconic things that Batman ever said. It is how I avoid the abyss. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let me bring it to you real quick. Up, hold on, hold that thought. What's happening, Miss China? So glad to see the first lady and thing. So, and Outlaw and with Moolage being on the screen here, he'll appreciate this as well. So when Batman talked about going into the abyss, it was a conversation that he was having where they talked about how do you keep from going too far? Him and Superman were talking about this. Like, how do you keep from going too far? Basically going to that point where you would kill somebody. And he's like, I can't, because if I do that, then I would go into the abyss. And it is a very dark place. So once you go into the abyss, there's no turning back. So when I heard him talk about that, it made me genuinely think about mental health, because the last thing that any of us want to do as men is go into the abyss, because we know once we go to that dark place, there's really no way out. And we say that, but there can be, like, you've seen how those alcoholics go so far down that it seems like there's no way back. And that's them. They've truly hit rock bottom. And in the men's mental health world, you can truly hit rock bottom, but you don't want to, because trying to find yourself again, trying to just trying to be happy again is such a task, because you've been down and out for so long, or down bad, whichever, phrasing you like to use. So we want to avoid the abyss as much as we possibly can, and looking at what Sherrod said, that was my thing back in early college days. Just a long jobs was my go-to thing.
Oh yeah, man. I used to drive down to Galveston at night whenever I wanted to clear my head.
Hey, that's a good long drive for you too.
If that don't fix what's going on with you, shit, nothing will.
No. But did you ever have any negative coping mechanisms at any point?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Of course I did. I felt like there was a point in my life where I craved, I guess, validation and attention. So I got involved with a lot of people when I really didn't need to be involved with them. I just wanted somebody to be around just to fill the emptiness in my heart. And, as I've gotten older, I've learned how to be by myself and totally okay with that solitude.
Fair enough.
I think everyone's picked up the bottle a couple times for, bad coping mechanisms, but I don't think I was ever on the verge of being an alcoholic. I just used to like to drink.
Yeah, I mean, I won't. Yeah, I mean, I won't say I ever depended on the bottle. I mean, I won't say that after a long fucked off ass day, I didn't just have a drink or two. Like we've or have a bender. I think we've all had at least one bender in our life.
Oh,
That
yeah,
that
totally.
usually
Early college days, for sure.
you've had a bender that you wake up the next morning and you're like, I probably shouldn't be here right now, because you end up waking up somewhere that you didn't expect to wake up. Given whatever the situation might have been and how you got started as to where you ended up. But that's why you got to be careful. I know one for me, a really bad coping mechanism, and I got it actually from our father of all people, is I turned into a robot. I
Oh yeah, you just shut
I
all emotions off.
emotionally shut the fuck down all the way. Like that was something I used to do a long time ago where I would shut down. I wouldn't show a lick of emotion. Like I just wouldn't. It was just like it felt like for like that became like in my first marriage, that felt like that was the go-to thing. Like something would happen, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna shut it down. It was like, it's kind of like the old school desktop computers. You just turn that motherfucking tower
Yeah,
off.
just
Like that's
power off
that's
hard.
that's how it felt. I was like, you know what? Just boom, turn this bitch off, and just gonna be this. Just blank face, no smiling, no smirking, no, just emotionless. Like if you wanted to model an android off of my face, you could have, because I wasn't doing shit. Like you lucky if I changed faces on a sneeze type shit. Like I had full control of my emotional shutdown. Like I wasn't trying to do anything. I ain't want no kind of skin wrinkles to happen. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna shut it down, boss. Like, and it was kind of like, I think I can say now that I'm older now, I figured out where I got that from. And it's funny how we are what we watch on TV sometimes, in a whether it's negative or positive way. But that came from Wolverine of all people. Wolverine was notorious for this. He would shut down completely. He would just, like, if he got pissed off, we all saw it in the X-Men animated series. He would get pissed off. He would just leave. But he would leave and he would just turn it all off. He'd end up at that bar and somebody would say something. He's like, look, hey man, not today, bro. Just leave me alone. And then you keep fucking with him, and now you finna get this claw in your life. Because you don't fuck with somebody.
To be completely fair, though, I don't think it's wrong to walk away from a situation when you piss off, because I do it all the time. Like, instead of me yelling at somebody, I'll just go to my car and walk away. Drive, get the hell away from y'all.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes we don't want to. In that moment, we know us, and the last thing we want to do is add to the volatility. And if we're pushed to a certain corner where the only reaction that we can have is volatile, it's best for us to exit stage left.
Absolutely. I feel like sometimes women don't understand that. Like, they feel like just because we walk out the door, we're about to go fuck something else, and it'd be like, nah, I just want to get the fuck away from you right now. I still love you, but I just can't fucking be here with you right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, that's, yeah. And of course, it's not received very well. Oh, look, Gerard talking about not today, bub. Yep. That was his phrasing. Not today, bub. But and normally, yeah, it's not received very well. But it's let's call it a necessary evil in the game of mental chess. Because we can't play checkers in these scenarios, because then you just gonna make a couple skips and you're gonna be stuck. And that's not what you want to do.
No. So, in a very general sense, like, what can you say is like your current everyday struggle?
Everyday struggle. I would, you know what? Yeah, because I'm still battling this struggle. Like, it's the way that I respond to certain things. And it took and I'll give some context here shortly. I didn't understand it because I didn't know, obviously, you know how you do something long enough and you don't realize it, but everyone else around you realizes it, and then you're like, oh. And then, like, you try to subconsciously, you're like, I gotta try to, you start thinking, but then, like, the more you go about things, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. And for me, it's like sometimes with my own family, like, they'll say something and it's like the way my face will change, or the way that it comes out of my mouth or something, it won't sound the way that it should sound. It will sound like polar opposite. And it's like, oh shit, like, something I didn't know that was going on. And then I was like, but then it was brought to my attention, and it's like, now, in my mind, I'm like, you try to catch yourself before you let it, before you let it out, just so you can kind of try to hone it in. So that's like something that I've been kind of, myself personally kind of dealing with.
I think this is
And
the
that's something you
biggest.
would have never known until they. No, go ahead, move.
I think this is the biggest factor of men's mental health right here. Is two gentlemen that are fathers that attack the world every single day, that handle what they're supposed to be doing, taking the time out um, just to be vulnerable, right? And I think that's what a lot of men in today's game, they miss that part of it, right? Because we're supposed to be hard, we're supposed to be tough all day, but having these conversations, letting other people know that it's okay to be vulnerable, especially in moments where you're feeling down, or you're feeling like the world is against you. It's like these moments right here are the biggest moments. So um, just shout out to y'all for taking the time to feel vulnerable and talk about your vulnerabilities. Because not a lot of people do this. I think this factor was taking the time to talk about your vulnerabilities when you're vulnerable.
I appreciate that move, man. But he right though. Like it's impossible to be 100% stoic, go getter, hustle, grind hard mentality all day, every day. Like you're gonna run into a brick wall and fall apart real soon. Like you get worn
Yeah,
down doing that shit every day.
I felt that, and I went through that firsthand. So I get it. When you get so immersed in whatever it is, whether it's the work, whether it's the hustle, the grind, whatever, and you just go, 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 and you don't do a lot of pausing, all of a sudden you forget to put that foot on the brake real quick, and now you don't slid around that curb and you don't hit that wall because that deer popped up out of nowhere and made your ass swerve. So, I mean, yeah, I be kind of getting outlandish in my examples, but that's the way we have to think about it because
I wouldn't have
no
swerved
matter,
for that deer, man. If I'm gonna fuck my
oh
car, I'm gonna stay
no,
at the deer and get no.
listen, me and that deer is not finna total my car today.
If I had to choose between a tree or a deer, I'm gonna hit that deer because at least I'm gonna have dinner.
I don't know if you want that deer meat after that collision. It might be a little spoiled. Might be a little charred.
Fair enough.
I don't want
You
you to get
know,
sick.
you right. I'm already sick, but you right. Thinking about what you said though, years ago, this old cat told me that no matter how much you do for your family, if you don't do something for yourself, you'll start to resent your family because you devote everything to them and don't do nothing for yourself. You just get burnt the hell out. And I've been there before many times. And I should have damn listened, but I didn't. So I'm telling y'all now, like, don't forget that the number one person in your life is yourself. I know you love your kids. I know you love your wife, your husband, they blase, blase. But if you don't take care of number one, you can't take care of nobody.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the cold hard truth. Because if you ain't good, nobody's good.
No, not at all. Folks get caught up on being, so selfless, they forget to be selfish sometimes. And I know selfish has negative connotations, but every now and then you got to be selfish with your time and your energy and your resources.
Look, it's real that you got to take care of yourself. When Cat Williams said it, and Justin Bieber made a song about it.
Justin Bieber made a song about it.
You should go and love yourself,
brother. I probably know it if I heard it. Alyssa.
He basically talked about being in a relationship with somebody that couldn't be emotionally available. So he said, you might as well go and love yourself because you wasn't showing that love and affection, that reciprocation to me. So is in a nonchalant way, he said the same thing, just not as outlandish as Cat Williams said it, as taking care of your star motherfucking player. You must take care of your, not the outlandish, Cat Williams method, but a lot more away with a little bit more, with some rhythm, with a good beat, with some good lyrics,
a little bit more eloquent.
Yeah, eloquent is the word. That's a good word for that.
But neither one of them is wrong, though. Neither one of them is wrong because, like I said, man, we get so caught up in being who we need to be for everybody else except for ourselves.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm guilty of going in the store trying to buy something for myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy something for my daughter instead. And don't get shit for myself,
look. I don't even like.
even
I
though
don't
she
even
got
like.
everything.
Listen, I don't even like going into the store sometimes because I already know when we get, especially HEB, my Texas brothers, we understand this. When you get to the register and they be having them damn coloring books and it be all the characters that your kid be watching, whether it's the Peppa Pig or the Coco Melon or Paw
Bluey.
Patrol, like Bluey, and you be like, bro, y'all know what the fuck y'all doing. And they put it right next to the
Specific
candy, so
reason
they
I
try
had
to
to
get you
move
on
to
some 2-for-1 special type shit. Like, oh, I got to get a
That was the
coloring book
reason.
and I got to get candy. It's like, no, the fuck you don't. And guess
What was
what
the
you not
reason?
getting? Neither. But what you can get is this buddy sticker because it's free. And you can get these buddy bucks and you can get on over there to that machine and get your little stickers or we ain't gonna never put in the book.
That's the single reason why I had to move out of Texas. The HEB, look here. My wife used to tell me, "Don't you take your ass to the HEB? Do
Listen,
not take."
HEB is selling a motherfucking pellet grill now.
Oh,
And
see,
that
that's
bitch
why
going for
I want to
like
go back.
300.
I got the
But
It's
thing.
not a
that's not
Traeger. It's
that's
not a
not
Traeger.
bad.
But it's still like I was looking at it and I was like,
I would
I
have.
don't need this.
Look,
I
I
don't
don't
need
need it,
this. But
but I want it.
then I went to Texas's greatest creation outside of Whataburger, and I was at Bucky's, and Bucky's had this nice cast iron style tabletop grill. Like I'm talking about,
Mm.
it looked like a smoker, but it was about this big and it fit on the table. Like you could put look like you could put like either charcoal or wood chips in there, and I was like,
Mm,
oh nice. And then it was for a solid price. It was going for like $100, and I was like, I don't
sold,
need that.
sold,
But it's showing me, it's like talking to me.
sold.
You know what? We talking about Bucky's. I can honestly say that I have never had a bad experience going to Bucky's. Like, and I've gone probably about 100 times now. And it just every time it hits, it just slaps.
Listen,
Like,
Bucky's has the cleanest bathrooms in the world.
I swear,
You could sit on the floor and eat your barbecue sandwich on that motherfucker, and you will not get sick.
day 237 of me asking for a Bucky's in California. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it has to be
Listen,
immediate. All
I
I'm
don't
saying is I just need one.
I don't think Californians would appreciate Bucky's like we do down south.
See, that's the problem.
no.
That's the problem.
Because I don't know
It-
how they feel about like, beef jerky and hunting and fishing supplies and, like stuff for the beach. Because y'all don't really bring nothing to the beach in California. Y'all don't really have to, like, and y'all ain't,
We
I
need
don't know if they
one.
would listen, the prices at the California Bucky's would be absurd because the regular Bucky's is kind of high.
Outrageous.
So I can only
Yeah.
imagine that same little tumbler I be getting for like $30 would be like $79.99 in California.
I feel like y'all just don't have the culture for a Bucky's. Like, I feel like
That part.
Bucky's is very much a Texas oriented kind of establishment. And I feel like nobody else got the same kind of culture that we got to justify a store based off their entire state.
We need
Yes.
one in the rural areas of Cali. We got some rural areas where there's not a lot of peoples out there. You know what I'm saying? Where we got a lot of lakes or they like to fish and they like to go hunting and stuff. So one of them Jones right there, I'm telling you, it would go crazy. It would be booming.
Y'all wouldn't appreciate a brisket sandwich the way that we do.
Listen, fuck appreciate. Would they even cook the motherfucker right?
That too.
Do they have brisket in California? That's a good question.
Absolutely.
Do they have brisket in California?
What kind of barbecue they got in Cali? What it tastes like?
This is like a real question. Like, because I've never been to California. This is like a real question.
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's the thing. A lot of people will sit up here and try to write California off or the West Coast off because, we got the Mexican food. It's a melting pot, right? There's a lot of peoples out here. But we do got some Texas folk. They move straight from Texas, right? Alabama, Louisiana, they come out here, they open their restaurant. You taste the South in it. Like they don't lose the tradition because they moved to California. They still got it. They're like, nah. Okay. So when you go to the Texas barbecue, when you go to the Mississippi barbecue, when you go to the Outback Alabama barbecue, right? There's one actually right here down the street from where I'm at right now. You taste that soul from the South, right? You taste that. You get that from the South. So people try to say, "Yo, California don't have no barbecue." It's like, yeah, all right.
So what you saying is, without the South moving to California.
Oh yeah, but that's what California is. That's what we are. We're a melting pot of everybody. To find somebody who was legitimately like all their family was born and raised in California, like going back generations, it's damn near impossible. Everybody didn't travel from somewhere and built a life in California. And it's just that's what makes California California. You got New Yorkers, you got Texans, you got Mississippians, Alabamians, and they all come together in this big ass fucking long ass state. And they get to doing all their little stuff and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And so they always got a little piece of home and they're sharing that piece of home with everybody that's out here. Tourists, people who grew up out here, people who was born out here. It's just it's love. It's always a great time when it comes to the food scene.
All right,
I can respect that.
I'll buy that for $1.
I mean, anything's better than North Carolina barbecue.
This is true. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is true.
Look, you said it, not me, but it's the truth of the matter.
I don't care about anybody in the comments from North Carolina. Fuck your barbecue.
Oh, that would be a great debate. Is which who got the number one? Because that's been a debate everywhere.
I will say that South Carolina barbecue ain't that bad. Tennessee, I feel like they rely heavily on their sauce, and I feel like if you got to put sauce in your meat not good. No homo, no diddy.
So yeah, and then of course you got Missouri barbecue or Kansas City barbecue as they like this, KC barbecue as they'll tell you.
I've been to KC. I've had their barbecue. They put their foot in it.
No. KC barbecue is solid. Like that's some good shit right there.
Yeah,
that's like it's just you got to have a really solid you got to have a really solid palate because you can tell the differences in a lot of some of these barbecues, especially like if the type of sauce they cook or smoke with, whatever the case might be. Some people don't like that mustardy type barbecue sauce. Some people gotta be ready for that type of jazz, or just getting that straight off the smoker, man. People smoke, people smoke a little different depending on where you at. It's like we know how we do it down here. When I say down here, I mean Texas and Louisiana, because we kind of do it similar when it comes to how we, and now, depending on who you are, us younger generations, they talk about us, oh, y'all over here using these damn pellet grills and stuff. We over here using the old school. Yeah, y'all ain't using these old school smokers. Like, hey man, listen. I'm not using either at the moment because I'm using my Blackstone, but that's neither here nor there. Don't be hating on the pellet grill, man. I done had some quality barbecue off of the Traeger, man. It's solid. All right, but I've also had some OG from the OG. I'm
gonna say something controversial. Fuck it. Some of these unks out here can burn up some goddamn barbecue on a regular pit. Like, don't knock the pellet grills until you try it, because some of y'all get drunk, fall asleep in your rocking chair, and I forgot that you got $100 worth of barbecue on the pit, and now it's all black as hell.
Listen, that's why sometimes it's better to just smoke it, because you can fall asleep when you smoke it, and it's okay because you still might not have overcooked it.
You got about a good hour nap in you if you're smoking your meat at a low enough temperature, but I wouldn't risk it.
Only if you're doing a brisket, because you got a long commitment if you're doing the brisket. Or if you're doing the pork belly, there's a commitment to the pork belly too, because you want to lock in all the juices in that pork belly. You don't want to take it off the smoker too early. Otherwise, it's just chewy ass pork belly. That ain't what you want. You want that good that is it. Even a pork belly, when it's smoked properly, will fucking fall apart and it tastes amazing.
You want it to dissolve in the back of your mouth. No diddy.
No diddy does. No diddy does.
Look,
we talking about meats right now. It's gonna get pretty diddy in here.
Hey, as long as we ain't talking about Arby's meats, we good.
Hey, Arby's is probably the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Man, God gave people free will, and motherfuckers still chose to go to Arby's.
I'm trying to tell you because why?
That's a great fucking question. I've had Arby's like once in my life, and that's because I was in Amarillo.
Didn't Arby's buy Sonic a while back some years ago? I don't know how they had the capital.
Arby's got money like that?
Look, that's something like how.
Like Arby's got money. How are they flipping drugs in the back or something?
Hell no, bro. Arby's over here. Arby's over here like the WNBA of fucking food restaurants, bro. Like they getting paid by everybody else, you know.
No, I'd say Long John's is like probably like,
bro. Long John's should have been gone. Long John's is like the Blockbuster of this generation, bro. They should have been gone.
When I see a Long John's, I'm legitimately surprised. Like, oh shit, that's still around. Oh my god.
They all and their food always had a weird fucking taste to it.
Yeah, no.
And I could never put my finger on what the
cardboard boxy. That's what I got always. Taste cardboard boxy.
And they hush puppies always tasted like fucking sandpaper.
Yeah, sandpaper.
And that's the best thing they had. That's the best thing they had.
Yeah.
The hush puppies.
Yeah, until they didn't change that grease for 2 days.
Man, look. So this grease tastes like last week.
Because it is
grease tastes tastes like old fish in this motherfucker. Like we don't like that.
Like your grease starting to taste like tan bark, dog. You got to change that.
I'm surprised your grease ain't started a fire in this motherfucker yet because it's been so old. Like that shit should be borderline combustible at this point.
In my mind, I can't justify the idea of like a fast food seafood restaurant. Like I don't even like seafood to begin with.
Hey, listen,
I was gonna eat some seafood. I wanted to be like, you know, some gourmet restaurant shit, not no bootleg McDonald's type of fast food.
Listen, not only that, we didn't just have a Long John Silver. Don't forget we had a Captain D's too.
Oh, right there off of Garth Road. Apparently, they got some new chicken items on the menu at Captain D's.
Captain D's is a knockoff Long John Silver's, bro. Like all that shit bad. If I'm not going to an authentic like seafood spot, I ain't no.
If you're not going to what do they call it, the Ocean Arena, you messing around.
Yeah.
If I can't sit down and order some seafood, I'm not going. Don't even.
So I went to Joe's Crab Shack while I was in Corpus.
Still got those?
Yeah, man. We had the seafood boil, man. We had the crab and the sausage, and potatoes with some corn. I learned really quick though, because they let you choose like your seasoning level. You can get like the little punk ass seasoning level, and then you got like Raging Cajun, and then you got like what they call I guess it's like super spicy or whatever. So he was like, all right, Raging Cajun sound good. That sound like you speaking to Southern folks. Man, that Raging Cajun wasn't shit. I mean, my nostrils was still not clear after eating that shit. Like I ain't get no kind of heat sensation. Flavor was good. I'm not gonna knock the flavor, but the spike, when you call something Raging Cajun, my expectations is thinking about Louisiana spices, and it's supposed to come off a certain type of way, and it was false advertising.
Well, you gotta think, bro. Like a lot of these restaurants make their spice level towards the lowest common denominator, which is gonna be white people, and white people they ain't got the palate for that kind of stuff. Now maybe Southern white people, I know some Cajuns who got a full spice cabinet, but like your everyday average Joe Schmo Billy Bob, you can't have no booty hole prolapsing goddamn barbecue sauce.
Well, said that punk ass flavor, man. If that ain't
it was, bro. It was false advertising, bro. Raging Cajun had me hype. So next time I go to Joe's Crab Shack, I'm not getting Raging Cajun. I'm getting the fucking extra spicy hot, whatever the fuck it was called. It was red. That's what it said on the menu. It was red. The Raging Cajun was like burnt orange, like that one shade from red. So I was like, oh, bet that's gonna be a good mix of flavor with some heat. I'm thinking the balance. No, Tillman Fertitta, you're wrong for that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want you to sue me and nothing. I ain't got bread to combat with you, dog.
Oh my
I love you. I love your restaurants, but if you gonna name something Raging Cajun for some seasoning, come on now.
I'm gonna give Joe's Crab Shack they flowers because they used to have a bomb ass lunch special menu for drinks. You can go to happy hour on your lunch break and get fucked up off some $2 hurricanes.
Yeah, you definitely could do that.
I'll also give Taco Cabana they flowers too. They food nasty, except they had the best frozen margaritas.
Listen, that margarita, Underrated.
Yeah. If Taco Commander just got rid of all their food and just went straight to just making frozen margaritas as a mainstay, I'd be okay with that.
Well, then they'll be out of business in like a month, but it would be, I'd be there for the shutdown party. But it was, yeah. Damn, we went on a whole ass tangent. That's crazy. We started talking about food. We must be fat.
Yeah.
We fat. I went to B-Dubs. Earlier. So I haven't been there in a while. I think the last time I went, I was there with you.
Yeah, most likely.
It was a daddy-daughter day.
I just think my walk-ons the other day.
Yeah. I got one by the house now.
I've only ever seen that one that we went to. I've yet to see another one, but pretty damn good.
Yeah, so there's one literally around the corner from my house, like right around the corner.
They bringing everything down to LaPorte, Pasadena. You can't get shit
well,
out.
it replaced the pipeline. Yeah, replaced pipeline because pipeline was starting to go downhill.
Pipeline was a pizza place, right?
Pizza place and laundromat.
I remember the one in Baytown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's still there or not. But
I
know, but it's almost like it's been, but I'll tell you what we have too many of over here is goddamn 7-Eleven and Stripe. They building another one. Does that? They built, look, it's them things popping up more than Starbucks is popping up around here.
So I'll say this. When Stripes first got to Houston, they had some of the best breakfast tacos. Like I used to go there for their tacos religiously, but I feel like
at Laredo Taco Company.
Yeah, Laredo Taco. But I feel like the more Stripes that we got, the worse they all got. Like the quality just went downhill. And now I'd rather go on a goddamn Stop and Go than go to a fucking Stripes.
Yeah, between those and what's the other ones we getting now? Is they red and black? I forget what they building one literally right in front of our neighborhood right now. I don't know. I forget. But look. He's right, but kind of going back on, I guess we'll close out the whole mental health conversation. We'll close it out. I want to close it out with this because we didn't talk about this yet.
Let's talk about it.
Decompression techniques. Obviously, we got our coping mechanisms of going to the gym and things of that sort, or sometimes, for us, it might be doing the pod as a way to cope. But what about decompression? Like, what is the go-to decompression move?
1 second. This one?
What's crazy is my mom has actually been having me. Well, I've actually had one since high school. And I'll give you guys a quick story about actually it being used. It was a track meet, and we had just actually lost or came in third in 4x1. One of our runners had got pulled his hamstring, so we had a new runner in. GQ, I'm pretty sure you know how that goes, just how frustrating it is.
The whole chemistry jacked up.
Exactly, whole chemistry jacked up. So long story short, we ended up second leg, third leg pass was all fucked up. So I was pissed, right? Because the heat that we were in, we were supposed to win, no problem. Right now, my mom was there and she state winning track runner. Like she's the reason why I got in the track. So she's there and she sees I'm visibly pissed off, like abnormally pissed. And she's just like, look, hey, check this out. Come here, right? 3 deep breaths. And she tells me like, yeah, no, you're not going anywhere. I don't care about your teammates. I don't care about your homies. I don't care about your coach. Take 3 deep breaths for me. Literally counted them out, 3 deep breaths, and looked me dead in my eyes and was like, look, we got a race to win. I know what happened was, you feel me, was some bullshit, but you took your breath, shake that shit off and go win this race. And I use that and apply that to my life every single day. Like when I'm feeling frustrated, when I'm too high, when I'm too down, whatever the case may be, take three long, deep breaths to really catch my bearings, really get back to myself, really control my mental, and then move on and process what I'm going through. So I definitely, shout out to my mom for doing that and teaching me that at such a young age, because she's been doing that to me since I can remember.
That's what's up.
The last time somebody told me to take 3 deep breaths was the first time I learned how to smoke hookah. And I got a high I was not prepared for.
Hey, who could low key nice, man? I low key
Hey,
want to buy one
ain't
for
no
the house.
ain't no low key nice. That whole high key nice.
I see what you did there.
But I remember playing today. It's funny. We talk about decompression. I'm gonna tie this to decompression here shortly. When I was doing my other full time job and I was over in Africa doing Africa things, and my birthday came up, and we went to this little spot called the Cantina, and this is Africa's not far from the certain parts of certain countries, if you will. So bunch of Indian dudes over there, and they had the big tall hookahs. I'm talking about the mugs is like 3-4 feet tall type of shit with the extra long hoses and shit. So they was like, "Oh, it's your birthday! It's your birthday!" So they had me do this thing, right? So if you've never had hookah before, I'm gonna tell you right now, do not do what I'm about to tell you. It's not a good fucking idea. But I did it because it was my birthday and I didn't give a fuck. But this motherfucker had me take 12 deep breaths, and this was like a minty peach blueberry. Yeah, minty peach blueberry flavored. I remember that because it was such a smooth flavor. But I took 12 big pulls. You call them hits, pulls, whatever you want to use. But normally in the hookah world, it's a big pull. So after number 12, you would have thought I smoked a blunt because I felt high as fuck and I didn't understand how and why. And I was like, probably because the amount of oxygen that was happening, or lack of oxygen in this particular instance, was not what was supposed to happen. But
He's
I was
probably
fucking
lightheaded as hell.
boy, you would have thought somebody was holding me upside down, but the blood rushed to my head the way how I felt. I was like, hold the fucking phone. Like I was one big pebble away from tripping and falling and fucking all my shit up because I was like, yo, I can barely see what's going on. But anyway, I say all that to bring it back. My go-to, even still now. Oh Lord, help me. That's pardon my toddler, y'all. She's enjoying tablet time a little too much. My go-to decompression method is silence. Silence is the move. Silence in the dark. That is my go-to decompression. I like to just have all the lights off, pure silence, and just allow my thoughts to. Normally, we say you manifest things. I like my stuff to demanifest and not come to the top. I like them to go back down, go away. So having that quiet darkness just helps. It's like we talk about that song, "Hello Darkness, my old friend." Yeah, that's me. That's my decompression. Yeah, that's what it was, right? I was buzzing hard.
I'm over here crying right now.
What say you, Mr. Alma?
My decompression, so I have two, and they depend on the season. So in the fall and winter time, quote unquote winter time, because we don't really get a winter time in Houston, it's just a false fall. But man, I'll go for like a trail walk in a heartbeat, man. I'll go like a mile or two off in the woods and just enjoy the peacefulness, man. Just the quiet. Nobody's around for miles except for maybe a serial killer, but we're not gonna worry about him. And man, you just get to walk around and just kind of just be in your own head, but outside. And there's nothing more grand than that, man. But I can't do that shit in the summertime. Do you see like a big ass cloud of mosquitoes on the trail and shit? And yeah, no.
They're gonna carry your ass away.
Exactly. My other decompression method, man, when it's too hot to go outside, dude, I actually will paint every now and then. Like painting is low-key a great way to get everything that's inside of your head out of your head and onto a piece of paper or something. I'm not no goddamn Picasso or nothing, but like just get you some watercolors, sit on your porch and have you some wine and just paint something. Brother, I'll tell you, you feel a lot better.
I cannot paint my thoughts because my thoughts would be questionable.
My thoughts look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Like, no, that should be wild. But nah, I don't know. I couldn't paint for say they wouldn't even be able to decipher what the fuck I painted anyway. I paint like I write, like shit.
It ain't about for nobody else, it's about for you.
Hey, you know what? The funny thing is, whatever I paint would probably be considered some nice ass art because it'd be some weird looking art out there. Motherfuckers is making whole millions off of that shit. So maybe I need to just grab a canvas and just start throwing paint at that motherfucker and make art. So some some guy from like Paris can be like, "Oh my God, what is this masterpiece? I don't know how much you want to buy for." I'm trying to get some
All
generational
artists
wealth
subjective,
going.
bro.
I call this whiskey art because I was drinking whiskey when I did it. So this is whiskey art. About to create a new category.
I'm telling you, I'm about to give you some money. Somebody tried to buy my painting when I was in elementary school. My mom told him no.
Man, look at you now.
Damn.
But now that we've closed that out, we must get to this. This has been something. This is gonna be interesting. But I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this video first, and then I'll let the world know the backstory of how this is about to go. All right. So we were not quite sure how we were going to attack this conversation. We've been talking about this in the chat for about 2 days. But before I dive into this, let me put something on the screen first. Let me just make sure everybody sees this this disclaimer, because shit about to get outlandish and ignorant. All right. So just understand, everything that's about to be said right now is just fucked off. All right. The conversation is about to get crazy. The perspectives are going to get wild, but we're going to do it anyway. So there was a picture circulating of somebody that we all grew up with. Not that we don't know him, but we grew up listening to his music and his group's music and, all the things. And he goes by the name of Marcus Houston. So Marcus Houston is now the ripe old age of 41, which if you look at his pictures, you would never guess that this man was 41. You would think that the man is every bit of 27, but that's because black don't crack. Had to get that in there one time. But reason I bring his age into this mix is because he is currently married to a 19-year-old woman. And apparently his mindset, his wisdom is that women that are his age come with too much baggage. So we're going to start right there. Do you know why women that are your age have a lot of baggage? It's because they've been through fucking life. Let's just start with that. If somebody is your age and you're 41, 31, 35, 58, 86, what the fuck ever, if you don't have baggage, that's a different problem that you might need to go see a therapist about, because we all have baggage. So if I'd be curious to know what he considers baggage, because is he talking about women that are 41 and got, 3 kids, but 2 of them are like college age kids and one of them's like a high schooler type baggage? Or are you talking about got, they crazy, they've been in therapy for a while, or like how we talk about our Latina women? Or are you saying they crazy like with that kind of baggage? Like what is your definition of baggage?
I'm gonna tell you what it is, bro. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Please, by all means, outlaw, expand on this.
This is just my take on it. I could be dead ass wrong. I don't personally know Mr. Houston. I grew up watching him and listen to his music and such, but I don't know this brother. But I feel like it was projection. I feel like women his age don't want to put up with his baggage. I feel like that man got a lot of shit going on that most women, his age would be like, I ain't got time for this nonsense. But a younger woman, she won't know any better. They're impressionable. We don't stop developing mentally until we're like, 25? Our brain is still growing.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so he got somebody spawn camping, got out the cradle basically. And she just gonna go along with whatever he says because she has not lived life. She does not have baggage. That's just my take.
Yeah, I can buy that, because maybe, just maybe, it's a control thing.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like you got no business dating somebody half your age.
First of all, let's take it. Let's take it all. Let's just take it from the basic foundation of what it is. You can't even go to the bar with her.
No, they're gonna look
Let's
at
just
her.
start. Let's just start there.
They're gonna put them big ass X's on her hands, so everybody know that she's underage and cannot
No,
be.
my brother. Just like I was explaining to y'all in the chat, because I saw this firsthand when I was in Corpus, also known as Corpus, Texas, when I was at the country bar. Another story for another time. They don't do X's no more. They put M's for minor. Now I get it. A 19-year-old is considered an adult because they typically have graduated high school and they're in college and all that stuff. Like, I get it. All right, I get it.
Man, you're not an adult until you on your own and paying bills, brother. Just because you're 19 does not make you an adult.
Talk to him.
I feel like until you can legally buy your own alcohol, you're still a kid, in my opinion.
You can barely buy certain weapons at 19 years old.
Man, you can't buy a handgun.
Nope.
You can't even get a car at 19, can you?
I don't think so.
I think you gotta be at least 25 to sign for a rental car.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, you do.
25. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least 25. Because you got to have, that way your insurance is set up. But
you can't even buy me a cigarette. I don't even smoke cigarettes. In the event that I just wanted to get
a cigarette, a cigar, a Black and Mild, none of that.
You can't buy
me. She can't go buy me a pack of Newports.
Like nothing. I don't even dip. Can't buy me no can of Zen.
Nothing.
None of that shit. But so there's that part of it, right? But then let's preface this a little bit different. So I'm the closest one in this group to his age. He's 41. I'm 35. So I'm the closest to him in age, which means I was like an 8th grader when he was a senior in high school. That's kind of like, I think that's fair-ish. Depending on when he graduated, it's fair-ish. But we saw this, and Outlaw, you saw this. Moolid, you probably saw this, but not near as much as Outlaw and I did. But it was like almost like a rite of passage in a fucked off way when a girl we knew in high school was like dating an older guy. Like she'd be 17, dating like a 28-year-old, and then it's like, it's not that we didn't bat an eye. It's just like we were trying to figure out what the fuck are y'all gonna do together. But
it was weird even back then. Like it was just weird.
Yeah, and we knew what they was doing. Like let's not pretend here. Like hold on. But why was that so common?
Where were the parents at? Like
Outlaw cook, because how? I just always think, hey, you got a 27-year-old boyfriend that's picking you up from high school. Like, I just want you to think about that, right? I'm break it down. You got a 27-year-old picking you up from high school in his 2008 Mercedes-Benz that he bought from his uncle out of his garage. Like, you as a person, as a girl, you don't see a problem with that? You don't think the nigga might be a loser or something? Like, you're a victim, yeah?
That's the way I viewed it.
It goes back to not having enough life experience. You got these young girls who see this dude, 27 years old, got a car, got his own 1-bedroom apartment in the hood. She thinking that he must be really something because she don't know no better. But she really don't know that this dude is a predator and that she's a victim.
Yeah, spot on.
I can't tell you how many times I was at a high school party and it'd be niggas who graduated 6 years ago coming to the high school party like, brother, you went to the school before the school was even built. Like, you don't belong here. Like,
he's not
school, like this campus is like brand new, and how are you? Who do you even know here?
He's not lying. When I tell you, I've seen this firsthand. Like at a high school party, I'm a junior, and I'm seeing niggas who graduated the first graduating class of the school. That was like, what, bro? Like, you graduated in 2007, bro. Like, it's
that's wild as fuck, bro. Not 2007. Oh no,
like it's 2010, gang. Like, what are you doing here? Like, legitimate question. What are you doing? I'm asking. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm
look, you want to know? You want to know what he doing? providing alcohol to minors.
Well, that's illegal.
I didn't say it wasn't illegal.
Taking a minor home is also illegal.
Also true.
Yeah, brother. I mean, there's some cats out there who should like be on what's that? The Catch a Predator. Like Chris Hansen, be like, come sit down next to me. Come take a seat. Let's talk about this.
Oh, yeah, I just was confused as to what are you doing here? Like, you can't. My first question is, you can't hold your own age. Come on, first question, because if you can, that just tells me a lot about you. I'm just saying.
No,
I'm close to your age.
A lot of them cats will be like, oh, she's just mature for her age, man. She's wise beyond her years, brother. You are still a predator. Like, you are not very mature if you dating somebody.
I was gonna say, does that make
makes you immature?
Doesn't it make you a dumbass though? Thank you.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you a dumbass if you are matching maturity level with somebody who's younger. I don't know. Maybe we just too common sense about this.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I went to North Shore Senior High, and I can definitely tell y'all it was a lot of girls with boyfriends in their goddamn 20s, and I'm just over here like regular ass dude. Like, how can I compete with the nigga who got like a fucking car in his own spot? Like, nigga, you got years over me for one, so yeah, I can't compete. Like, you 25, I'm 17. Like, this ain't a fair fight, dude.
Look, y'all to hit the nail on the head. I never understood how older guys mess with girls under 21. That's like the whole premise of this conversation. Like, when I turned 21, if you weren't at least 21, we wasn't talking. Because you got to be able to buy me a drink for us to even have a conversation. Fuck the bullshit. When I turned 21, I was trying to find the older chicks. I was trying to find them cougars. I was cougar hunting at 21. I was like, my whole priorities changed when I hit 21, because I was like, hold on, I can actually go out and talk to everybody now.
Yes,
they used to still call it, oh, you 21, oh, you still young. Yeah, but I got something with some experience now. You want to keep playing that game?
I'm gonna say this.
Beyonce say I'm maybe young, but I'm ready. Yeah,
you know.
Oh,
hey, look,
hey,
that part right there. Them North Shore girls who ran track. Yep. All them girls was always messing with older dudes, man.
This dude not wrong. They messing with the goddamn. If you're 35,
say, look, hey, and I'm not mad at that. See, look, I'm 35. My wife older than me, so I get it. So, quick little backstory on my dog Yada. So Yada, Moolage, you'll appreciate this. So Yada, one of my flag football brothers, man. We played flag football. We were on rival teams for a long time. Played on a couple teams together. No, balled out of control, man. Yada, one of my favorite flag football players, just to be around on the field. Like, you talk about a energy guy that's like a character guy. Like, he he played defense and talk shit like the whole game. Like, that's him. And it's always like, hey, listen, whether he my teammate or whether I was playing against him, it was always a riot dealing with that man. Look, he said, just saying, look.
I know a few from my school too. I ain't gonna name drop.
We don't give free clout around here, but we understand what's being said right now.
I'm gonna say this.
I know a few for sure.
If we watch different cartoons growing up, you too young for me. Like, if you didn't watch the Nickelodeon, the goddamn Cartoon Networks, like at their peak, what do we have to talk about?
If I ask you about Static Shock and you say, who is that? I'm telling you, get out.
If I say omelet du fromage, you're like, nigga, what did you say to me? That's it.
Man.
If you ask me what I want from the store and I say a Reptar bar and you don't laugh.
I say a baby's got to do and you don't finish it, yeah, you got to go. We got to go.
Yeah.
We got to go. Get out the house.
Listen, if I tell you that I'm about to go watch Toonami and you don't respond with what show, we got a problem.
Come on, dog.
If I start talking like that nigga Raw from Ed, and Eddie, and you like, what is going on here?
Look, if it's 2:30 in the morning and you text me what you doing, and I tell you I'm watching Cowboy Bebop and you don't understand, I'm gonna be salty.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. If I hit you with the 7 o'clock on the dot and you can't tell me what whip I'm in, you're out of there.
Fuck out of here.
You're out of there. You can't even tell me what whip I'm in.
That's an automatic 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah, you gotta go.
If she didn't have a house phone growing up, she's too young for you, bro.
If you don't know what AOL
Look,
or dial-up is,
cord or cordless.
come on.
Hey, I had a rotary phone at one point, so you know I'm old as fuck.
Hey, look,
Man,
I had
to.
I listen. I had all the above, and them phones was wild, man. Yeah, no, 100%. Oh, hold on, this is a good one.
Oh man.
Boy, didn't we have that conversation a couple episodes back?
What did they say? Just eat hot Cheetos and lie?
I'm trying to tell you, if I text you, if I text you at 9, you don't text me back till 1, talking about you asleep. I don't know how you sleep the whole day away is beyond me.
If I'm not out of bed by 8 o'clock, I feel like I'm worthless. I feel like I done wasted the whole day.
I'm trying to tell you, I feel like I done just wasted a day. If I'm like, now, if I was doing some outlandish activity the night prior, I might, catch up on some sleep. But like on a regular day, no. The alarm in my house right now goes off. I'm about 5:30, 5:40, somewhere in that rough time frame.
You know what? Let's bring it back to Mr.
Look, she said, hold on, look. This is a good one, Moo. You're gonna appreciate this one. Look, if she don't know Mike Jones' number, she too young.
Come on. Hey. What?
Yo, what? Hold on. Sleep 12 hours, wake up at 5 p.m. and say she tired. Oh no.
No,
that's the opposite. You supposed not sleep 12 hours, bro. If I slept 12 hours, I'm exhausted when I wake up.
I don't even know how people sleep 12 hours. Barely get 3 hours of sleep.
I don't even know how my thoughts would process if I slept 12 hours.
Have I slept a whole 8 hours since I've been a parent? I don't think so.
I have yet to sleep 5 hours since I've been a parent.
I've slept 8 hours as a parent only because my child was sleeping next to me. And I couldn't move because she had her head was on my arm and I couldn't move. So I was like, well, fuck. See, look, listen, we was talking about this. See, y'all are catching on now. See, we had a whole episode about this right here. Like we was. Look, that's what we talking about. China, like, can't we sleep until 5 a.m. and look, Cam, look, he say, look, you know my man. No, Cam, we do not know your baby mama.
Speaking of baby mama, doesn't Houston have 2 kids with this chick that he's with? I saw that they're parents. I feel like that's just weird. How do you explain it to your kids? Like, hey, your dad is like old enough to be your grandpa. Like, that's some weird conversations, you know.
I try to find
like at her age.
What's the common ground?
That's what I'd be trying to think of.
There is no common ground. Like
what are y'all talking about?
It's uncommon as fuck.
What are y'all talking about? Sesame Street?
I hope not.
I was just saying, like, you can't, because she don't even know what Sesame Street is. She wasn't around. So, like, what?
She know about Elmo's World.
Like, what is there possible? What do y'all possibly talk about? Like, Bad Girls Club?
She might have been too young for Teletubbies.
So she definitely was. Like,
y'all gonna talk about P-Valley or like, or the Kardashians, like, like Jersey Shore? Like, what are we doing here?
What in-depth conversations are y'all having? She is 19. Her age still has teen.
Listen, hold on. Let's think about this. So 19 means she was born in what, 2004?
Depending on when her birthday fell. She born in the early 2000s.
Yeah, she's the early 2000s kid. Which
I'm gonna say this.
Let's think about that.
She's too young. For her, 9/11 is a historical event.
Bump that. To take it one step further, she's an early 2000s baby. Your husband was a megastar.
Man,
a couple years prior, your husband was in a group called IMX singing a song called My First Time.
It ain't nothing like the first time. Yeah.
And then let's not forget the peak of all peaks when he had a song called Naked, a tribute to D'Angelo. Like, come on now. Like, This man had a whole music career before you was born, and then had a
Girl, I
second
just can't
career
wait to
after
see
you was
you
born.
naked.
I'm just
Ooh.
saying that
This man was in a
he is
movie called
probably the
Stomp the
same
Yard, bro.
age as his in-laws.
Like, bro, he was in Stomp the Yard before you was born.
He was in motherfucking You Got Served. That's one of my favorite lines ever of all time. I just used it when I served. Look, I just had to serve the homie, you feel me, BM on some crazy shit. Literally said, you just mad. Cause tonight, suckers got served. Okay? Y'all don't
Look,
even
19.
understand
Look,
how that hit. When we was y'all don't understand how that line hit, bro. Y'all wasn't outside.
yo, that's a
Wow.
bar. Went from immature to dating women who are immature.
Ooh, that's
He got cooked.
that gotta be line of the night. I ain't even gonna
Hey,
lie to you.
that's my dog Cam. He good for some of them one liners now.
That gotta be line of the night.
That is, man, like I don't know, when that story hit, I just didn't really know how to respond. First, I had, we like to go double check sources and shit. So I wanted to make sure this wasn't like a parody
It's
or
it's
some
for
shit.
it's
No,
for real.
yeah, that's what we talked about in the chat too. But I said, let me, I wanted to go find out, when you want to verify something, you got to go find a second or a third source or a secondary and tertiary source. So I had to go double and triple check, and I was like, no, this is because when I tagged all of y'all in the primary source where I was seeing, y'all seen the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
The comment section was going ignorant in there.
I mean, that girl's so young, she never saw a goddamn Kmart.
I never saw a Kmart, never saw a Blockbuster. She never
They
saw
even know what
Netflix
Hollywood
before it was
Video
a
is.
streaming service.
Yeah. Let's
She
see, what
didn't
else
see
did she never
Redbox at
see?
its peak. She never went to Game Crazy or Game Exchange.
Ooh, Game Exchange. We still got a few out here.
I said what I said.
You said what you said.
Love you too. Hey, she don't know what it is to go take Grand Theft Auto San Andreas to the shop to try to get some money off of it. And they say they give you $7 and flip around and sell that bitch for 28.
Man,
Inflation at its finest.
They give you $2.
If she didn't blow on her goddamn N64 cartridges to get that bitch to work, she's too young for you.
Do she
Bro,
know how to turn on an N64?
Thank you, because her first system began with Nintendo DS or Nintendo
She
Wii or
probably
some
got
shit.
her first console was a fucking Wii.
Like, if your first console didn't begin with Sega or Nintendo, I'm sorry, you gotta go. Because even PlayStation 1 is still kind of like, I'm still looking at you sideways, like,
Listen, you want to know? You really want to listen? You really want to test their age? Show them an Xbox with the red light and see how they react.
The Death Ring, goodness gracious.
If they just say, "Ooh, that's a pretty color," get the fuck out.
Look, get out, man. If you really want to know, ask them what you do to the game if you don't got a memory card. Because if her answer is not leave it on, yeah, no, she gotta go.
Hey, I had that Need for Speed Hot Pursuit with no memory card. Kept that bitch on.
Come on.
This is before PlayStation 5 had the rest mode.
The rest mode.
We was just hoping we didn't overheat the system while we was at school and shit.
You feel me? You came back home and you seen that mom's turned off the PlayStation.
And now fuck all that. If Mother Nature turned it off because a thunderstorm happened and the power went out.
Heartbroken. All my hard work gone.
Just like that.
Look, this girl's so young that she don't remember what it was like to have actual TV guides.
Remember what it's like to have you don't remember what it's like to sit in the living room and have your mama give you some toilet paper and how you pointing in different directions trying to get the signal.
Bro, she didn't know what it was like to go buy a video game at GameStop and buy the fucking walkthrough manual simultaneously.
Oh God.
With the cheat code manual. Stop playing. I need my cheat code. Stop playing.
Oh man, yeah. So that's how that whole thing went. So what they talking about? Hold on, I'm catching up on some stuff. All right. So yes, I will take care. I will take care of it in just a moment, my child. Yes, I will. I will take care of it in just a moment. I,
Man, she talking cash money shit to you.
you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear everything, bro. I can
Plain,
still see her.
plain as day. I mean, it ain't hard to see the fro. She gonna read
Man,
me a book. She gonna read me a book right now.
them terrible threes is something else, brother.
Man, them three-nagers, man. They a violent breed.
Everybody said it's always the terrible twos. Wait till
Mhm.
they turn three and they can like talk
Yep,
back
I
to
see it.
you
It's
and
twinkle toes.
have opinions and shit. It's
And
ghetto out
that
here.
personality
Daddy will
start
read it
coming
to you
out.
before we go to bed, okay?
My girl
Yep,
almost
I'll read it
5,
to
and
you
I
in a
feel
room.
like I'm dealing with the goddamn 15-year-old.
Okay. Yep. Daddy's almost done with the show.
I'll sit right here.
Well, you can't sit right here. You gotta wait. You go to your bed, and Daddy will be there in just a moment.
I'll sit right
No, sit right there.
Where?
Go to your bed, and Daddy will be there in just a moment.
I'll sit down on my bed.
Thank you, ma'am. Everything is a multi-million-dollar negotiation.
Yeah.
Talking with my toddler, I'm gonna do this for you. This is just for you, Moo. Talking to my daughter is like dealing business with Jerry Jones.
Man, now look, you know firsthand. Shit, you got two of them. Okay, that's imagine trying to have a conversation with Jerry and Stephen Jones. Like, all right, bro, look, we
Mm-mm.
ain't going no, we
Nah,
ain't getting nowhere.
one of y'all gonna catch these hands. The other one gonna get put in a sleeper hold.
I'm
Like,
trying to tell
no.
you, somebody's finna get y'all.
What did
Y'all
George
issuing
Bush
the
say a
RKO's
long
today,
time ago? He said we don't negotiate with terrorists.
man.
Shit.
And I tell you straight up, I do not. Okay, I got 3 terrorists at the crib right now, and I do no good negotiations. All right,
Listen, we don't negotiate. We do options trading and
there you go.
negotiating. It's like, listen, we can do X, Y, or Z. That's all. There's no other way around it. So choose one or choose none.
Hmm.
Either way, I'm gonna win this negotiation because all the choices are tailored to something I want accomplished.
Period.
Like, it's wild in this house sometimes. Outlaw, you've been here, you know. It's wild. It's wild and outlandish in this house sometimes. But listen,
Brother, I know
and we know
exactly
how them
how it
two
is.
get
I've
together.
seen it.
We know them. Listen, them two together is a Category 7 hurricane, which doesn't exist in time yet. But those two together will make a brand new, beautifully cleaned toy room look like Walmart before they stock the shelves at night. That shit look like Walmart on Black Friday by the time they done. Like, shit is
We need
horrible.
to get them together again, but
Oh no,
no rush.
we have another daddy daughter day coming up 100%.
Hmm. Yeah, I know all too well.
My toddler is finally asleep. Thank God. I'm about to be right behind her.
Look, I'm about to take care of mine here shortly and take care of all that business. But before I do that, we had a conversation way before Mulich got into the show today. And we were specifically talking about my subtitle, and it says the guy who lost big. And so the very simple backstory to the guy who lost big, the guy in this scenario is me, the guy who lost big. So as you guys know, and from the sidelines, we do a lot of sports stuff. Whether it's our basketball stuff, our football stuff, whatever the case might be. Well, outside of that, we do. I do a lot of fantasy leagues, so I am probably now. I want to say I'm in like 8. I'm in like 8 fantasy leagues, give or take. So I manage a lot of rosters. So I in one of those said leagues, it's a league full of military veterans. So we've been doing this. This is season 6 or 7, somewhere in that realm. But we decided to go into this thing where we decided to come up with a fantasy punishment for this, for whoever takes last place or whatever. So it just so happened to be me, and I took last place, and that hurt. It feels weird to take last place, in a fantasy league. But even though it's a fake game, but it doesn't matter. Losing is losing. But I had to, since that happened, I had to get a friend, and so let me so this is my friend. Okay. Hi, this is my friend. Her name is Wanda. She also has a shirt.
She's back again.
Yes, so she's back again. So you see, she has a shirt, and it also says fantasy football. Says last place. Actually, hold on. Let's do this way better. I'm gonna take my background off. Bye, y'all. Boom. Okay, take my background off because she don't blur out. So as you can see, she's been hanging out this whole show. But see, I have a unicorn, kind of like on some Deadpool type shit. So this is my fantasy football last place for how much fun I had. This is what happens when you take last place in fantasy football. Sometimes you have to do wild and exotic shit like hang out with this doll.
But hey,
which is what
but hold on a second. You can put her in your passenger seat and ride an HOV lane.
So she was in my passenger seat earlier today because I went to B-Dubs because originally I was supposed to take her to dinner and buy her dinner and stuff, but the manager was not letting me do that. I had asked permission. I didn't want to just show up and then it like kick me out. I went with my daughter. I wanted to make sure, but I was like, hey, is it cool if I do this thing? Like I explained it.
Will Smith from I Am Legend when he's trying to talk to the mannequin.
But here's the thing. So I explained it to the manager, and the manager was not with it. And I was like, all right, well, let me go put her back in the car. I already ordered my food. So, but I didn't get to do what I was intended on doing. So, So China, you missed it. So we were talking about fantasy sports, specifically China. One of my veterans leagues that I'm in, this was the fantasy punishment for me taking last place. So I have Wanda here, and I just chose the name Wanda. It was fitting. So don't ask me where it came from. It has nothing to do with Scarlet Witch because Scarlet Witch is attractive and this Wanda's not. This is like a Temu version of Wanda. But yeah, so I couldn't take care of the part I needed to take care of. So what I did instead is like, you know what? I'm gonna bring her on the pod. Why am I bringing her on the pod? Because we do a lot of TikToks around here. We do a lot of social media around here. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. She's going to be popular for the next, I don't know, 2.5, 3 weeks. Oh, look. Hey, Shara said, hi, Wanda. Oh, hi, Rod. So that's how that goes.
At least we know you honor your bets.
It was hard because I had a very busy summer. I had a very busy summer, so I didn't have a lot of time. So I was like, well, bump it. I got to squeeze in time where I can squeeze in time. So, so while I'm doing that, Outlaw, what are your closing thoughts, my brother?
I ain't gonna lie to you, Chief. This medicine concoction I made is kicking my ass. I ain't got no closing thoughts other than if your kids went back to school this week, man, get you some Airborne and some Theraflu and just maintain because it's gonna be rough.
I'm just trying to maintain. China says she don't look like a Wanda. Listen, it was the first name that came to mind, so I rocked with it. I mean, I know she kind of got that I Love Lucy haircut going on right now, but
she looks more like a Karen, bro. Like somebody made
no Karen. We don't associate with Karens around here. Like we know Karens are bad for business. China laughed at you. She said whatever talk, but it's the truth though. Make sure.
Why don't you take her on a date to Starbucks? Get you a pumpkin spice latte with her.
Hell, absolutely not. Look more like a Tammy Lynn, boy. If you from Barbers Hill, he probably know a couple of Tammy Lynns.
Hey, on the cool though. I've known a couple of white chicks who was country as hell. And their middle name was Lynn. I don't know if that's just a thing, but damn it, her baby
not
name
Quan.
was Quan.
We done brought the Quan back. So closing thoughts for me. Actually, Moolage, I'm gonna let you do your closing thoughts while you get ready to continue doing what you're doing. Moolage has been working this whole time, but now he's been laughing and dying for the last 5 minutes, laughing at whatever Tammy Lynn, Karen.
Hey, that's Wanda. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We met her the first time, and that's her name, and I'm not going back. Her mama named her Wanda, so I'm gonna call her Wanda. Hey man, really dope show. I hope you guys got the message that we were trying to send today as 3 Black men that are also fathers that are working every single day in this crazy world that are trying to navigate, our past and our feelings and our emotions through this world. I hope everybody got the motive, the message that we were trying to send, that even as a man, more specifically as a Black man, it is okay to seek help. It is okay to talk about your problems. It is okay to feel vulnerable. So don't feel like you can't. If you have a circle or are involved in a circle that doesn't allow you to do that, change your circle and never be scared to seek therapy because therapy always helps. Show tomorrow, PVT, will be postponed until Saturday and or Sunday. Gonna work out the logistics with my boy Willie because will be out here in the streets again. But Yeah, other than that, dope show. Wanda, nice to see you. Catch y'all later.
You heard it here. So real simple. Yes, we ended the show on a extremely hilarious high note, to say the least. But to not take too much away from the conversation that we initially had, and it's to the men. So men, take care of your mental health. Take care of yourself. Don't be out here thinking that you can raise a family, be a father, be a husband, be a partner, whatever the case might be, based on how your pronouns get down, if your mental ain't right, because you're not going to be able to take care of business. So take care of that first and foremost. Don't be afraid to have those very difficult conversations, whether it's with yourself or with the therapist, however you got to get there, get there. So never forget that. Come back on the lighthearted side of things. So yes, y'all see me hanging out with Wanda. After this, Wanda's gonna go take a nap, and I'm gonna go put my child to bed. And apparently Shrod said he's gonna be back next week. So, all right. That means we can plan out what should be an extremely exciting show next week, but we won't spoil it for you. You just got to tune in to find out. But like Outlaw said, most importantly, make sure you honor your bets. When you have bets that must be honored, you must find ways. And sometimes you can't do it the way that you intended to do it, so you have to persevere. And when you persevere, you come up with random methods, like I did tonight. I was like, you know what? This might be a bad idea. Why? Because here from the sidelines, we got over 2,000 subscribers. And if you follow the From the Sidelines YouTube, and if you follow Gentleman's Talk on TikTok, you know good and hell well we post every fucking day. So what does that mean for the next, 17 plus days? There are going to be TikToks floating around with me and Wanda. So my bet just got extended for X amount of days, because she probably going to pop up all over our fucking TikTok feed now and on the From the Sidelines YouTube channel. And I'm going to make sure it does, because I added two very distinct, what's the word? Not hashtags. I forget what they are. Like whatever we use on YouTube. But I added fantasy football punishments and stuff like that, so that this last little section here would be trending as well. So hopefully this takes care of what needs to be taken care of, so that we can draft tomorrow and have another great season. Because this is the only league that I will take last place in, because in the From the Sidelines pod, I am defending the crown, because I don't plan on losing. I'm the head of the table for a reason. I'm trying to keep it that way. So,
I'm in for that.
Yeah. Appreciate you, China. Good night to you. Oh, hey, Wanda, she's China said good night. We tell her good night. Good night. Blow kisses. Appreciate you. All right. So make sure y'all tune in next week, man. We got an exciting show for you. Hopefully we got the boys all together next week. The Infinity Gauntlet, as we like to say. So as per usual, ladies and gentlemen, we are out.
Motivation in you and inspire the world to do what you can. If you love it, then fuck it, get through it. Yeah. Mumble mentality.